Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead series. Now in the last episode, we spent the majority of our time clearing out a very large horde of enemies. We couldn't really pin down where they came from, but we do want access to this bookstore or library or whatever it is. So we spent quite a long time shooting these enemies. There were a lot of them, but we were never in any real danger, and we used these sludge trails to our advantage. Now, rather than looting every corpse individually, I decided to use the sorting zones as a kind of trick way to loot out things that we thought were valuable. Unfortunately, due to the sludge trails being everywhere, we couldn't actually sort all of this loot. I had said that I would take care of some of this off camera, but then we ended up having a crash when I quick saved the game. Now, this is a pretty significant issue, so let's just jump into the video because we're going to need to talk about this. So hello Internet, welcome back. We're on the main screen here because I want to show you some of the fallout from issues when we quick save. So we crashed in the middle of a quick save. Generally, that's one of the worst times you could possibly have a crash because it could corrupt a lot of data that's going into your save file. And one of the main things that it did, if I look here on my world, which is the world we're playing on, you'll see it actually duplicated my character. I don't know what to make of that, and I don't know what that's going to cause, but we're going to jump back into game. And I held off on doing this off camera because I wanted to, if there were any issues, I wanted them to be recorded. That way I could explain to you if we had to cancel the series because of this. So we're going to load into the game here. The fact that it loaded without any errors is fantastic. I do see we apparently got a deep bite wound at some point in the last episode. We definitely need to treat that. Because we've already wasted a lot of time pulping and sorting, so we should head back to base and deal with that immediately. It doesn't look like anything is amiss. Just having a glance around here, you'll see the carcasses are still here. Sludge trails are still here. The main issue, so I went on Discord after this happened and I kind of said, hey, you know, what should I expect loading back into the game? And Cursed Twist, you know, we've talked about that individual on our experimental Cataclysm shows. They are a dev member. Said that a lot of map gen in areas may be broken or incorrect when we go back to them. And I think that that makes sense. I assume that the majority of the data in your save file is probably location data. So like what items and monsters and what map terrain is in a specific location. And we've explored quite a lot, so there would be a pretty good chance, I think, of if there's going to be a corruption, it's most likely going to be in map data. Because obviously something like our character takes up significantly less space in a save file than the actual map data. Alright, we have a painful bite. What does that mean? Maybe it's just a progression of the deep bite. And I see up here we have a bionics / mutagen effect, giving us plus 8%. I assume that's my trait, giving me that 8% speed bonus, but it looks like that has been changed to reflect that it's mutated in bionics and stuff. So, we are going to head back to base. We're going to disinfect our wound. We're going to take our spear with us, because we don't want to lose that. And we're going to head back to base. Hopefully nothing is amiss with our vehicle or our huge piles of loot that we've accumulated over, you know, like 40 hours of playing the game. Or not 40 hours. Yeah, about 40 hours. My God, we've been playing this this playthrough for a long time. We're on episode 78. And you figure each of those is about 30 minutes apiece, although I frequently go over 30 minutes because why wouldn't I? So 36, 37 hours, somewhere in there would be my guess. Quite a long time to play a game. Oh, I'm going way north. This is the wrong direction. We're further south here. So we're going to head back to our vehicle. We, of course, don't want to get an infection. At this stage of the game, we have all the bionics we could ever really need. Yeah, it did fail to pulp some of you, it looks like. I'm just going to melee you. Why not? I can't remember the last time I meleeed a zombie snapper. I'm going to do it. Why not? Spice things up a little bit. We've been shooting a lot, so let's melee. The swimmer zombie should be no big deal at all. In fact, you don't seem damaged, so you must have resurrected quite a long time ago. Where did the snapper... There you are. Yeah, you're at full HP. So either this one was never killed, or it's been alive again so long that it resurrected and restored its health completely. But I'm going to melee you anyway, just to shake things up. You don't seem very fast. Okay, well, we missed. They do have a pretty decent armor, which again, our spear is not very good at puncturing armor unless it criticals. When it criticals, piercing weapons get some massive bonus to armor penetration, but in general, our overall damage is not going to be amazing. I bet this is due to my torso encumbrance, which is 36. Yeah, it's a flat out 36% chance to miss every time we swing at an enemy. Alrighty, you definitely were rezzed, but okay, that's fine. Let's head back to our vehicle. Again, treat this head wound we have. Yeah, crash is not great. Our lengthy time spent sleeping and processing information has also been very sluggish. I was just on Discord and mentioned that, and someone said I should submit a bug report. Because if you remember, we had about a 7 minutes real time to sleep for about 12 hours, which is obviously not typical. Where's my antiseptic? Antiseptic powder. Huh. Why are you favorited? And why are you not in my inventory if you're favorited? Antiseptic. Oops. Can't type. Oh, is it not anti? What is it? Anna? No, wait a minute. That's the wrong pile. That's why. Anti. So we have this antiseptic powder. What's your deal? I'm going to scroll down here. Powdered form of chemical antiseptic. This bismuth formic iodide cleans wounds quickly and painlessly. Well, given how small it is, we could carry this with us. It's in a plastic bottle. That's a little bit more space. I wish. What's the other thing called? The quick clot. What is that called? Hemostatic powder. Are you also in a bottle? You're not. You're in a plastic bag. They really ought to get their own packages. Like, I think that they should both have paper pouches that they come in that you can rip open and use. Because I believe that is how you would get antiseptic or hemostatic powder. I believe it does come in a pouch. Although, I mean, they do use it in surgeries and stuff, so I don't know what they use in that circumstance. Did I tell you I did some research on hemostatic powder because they were talking about the wound system moving forward, and I was like, oh, I want to learn more about hemostatic powder. So I Googled it and read some articles and stuff in like medical journals, and they talked about how they used to use specific hemostatic powder that would actually cause so much heat to be generated that it would burn the patient, which I thought was super, super fascinating. Anyway, I got to focus on what I'm doing here because I'm an idiot. We're looking for hydrogen peroxide is what I'm looking for. You don't appear to be hydrogen. Can't pick up liquids. Oh, did it spill all my liquids? Hydrogen. No, it's in a bottle. Why can't I just apply it without picking up the bottle? Well, it doesn't matter. Apply the hydrogen peroxide to our head. Great, cleared up our wound there, and I believe that was the entire bottle of hydrogen peroxide. So let's just drop this bottle here. That's a tourist guide. Why don't we read that? Although we already have maps of the area and everything. So we'll read this. Oh my goodness, such a long list. Do we not read? No, we activate this. Activate the tourist guide, maps, and tourist attractions. So that's things like restaurants, I believe. Things like that. I'm not really seeing anything standing out here. Oh, that's fine. Okay, we should eat something while we're here, I suppose. Make sure all these are closed up. Make some cooked meat. And we'll go back and start processing all those corpses, which is a huge pain in the butt. But again, didn't want to do it off camera and risk, having something bugged out. Yeah, it's taking a long time to craft. Alright, well, what else can we talk about? Well, before this episode, I was working on my experimental Cataclysm series, which is this series where we talk about changelogs and stuff for the game. Working up one of those, hopefully by the end of this week, which I think you'll see this video. It will be... it's Tuesday, Thursday would be Saturday this video goes up. So hopefully by the time you see this video, we will already have had that other video go up. Oh, gotta eat the meat first here before we leave. Hopefully that goes up before this video, although I'm planning to do a much more highly edited format instead of the off-the-cuff conversation I usually have. So, it might take a really long time to edit. Well, it will undoubtedly take a really long time to edit, but I'm hoping that it doesn't take so long that I can't get it out on a regular basis like I always have. If that is an issue, I might have to go back to the old version, but it's one of my most popular series. It's something that basically any player in Cataclysm would want to watch, or at least have a mild interest in, even if they don't like my content. Generally, like my Let's Play, maybe they don't like me as a person. They might still like someone going over the changelogs. So I'm trying to put my best foot forward with that particular series, and yeah, that's something I was working on before we got here. I'm not gonna lie, I've been really busy, and in fact this week is another busy week. I have therapy tomorrow, and I have appointments the day after, and on Friday as well. So I really don't have time to devote to YouTube this week, which is always hugely disappointing. Where's this freaking bookstore? Oh, it's way up here? No, where's the other one? Wait a minute. Did we already explore? Where's the other? There it is. Okay, so that's the one we explored. So I'm going far south. We're going to end up with more zombies on our tail if I don't pay attention. Yeah, so I just don't have time to work on things this week. And I won't lie to you, Internet. I've been playing a little bit of Warframe. I just picked it up. It's a free-to-play game. Anyone can play it. You've probably heard of it or played it yourself. I knew it was free to play, and I never played it because I thought it was PvP. The whole time that I had seen stuff for Warframe, everyone talks about it. People like that game a lot. Every time I saw people talk about it, I thought it was a PvP only game. And I was like, I hate PvP. I'm never going to like this. And so I didn't look at it. And then over the weekend, I had an itch to play Destiny 2. So I downloaded Destiny 2, and when I played Destiny 2, it was real terrible. The matchmaking is broken, apparently, at the moment. And I was real angry at the game, and I felt really angry because I downloaded like 60 gigs of Destiny 2 and then couldn't even play it, and I was furious. And I was just flipping through games, and Steam was like, hey, you like Destiny, why don't you try Warframe? So I asked on Discord, I was like, hey, anybody play Warframe? Is this game good? And literally, like, everyone came out of the woodwork and was like, oh, I love Warframe. Oh my god, I have 2,000 hours in this game, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, isn't it, like, super terrible? Like, it's like sci-fi PvP, and people were like, no, it's all PvE, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I got into it, and I really like this game. It really reminds me of Lost Planet 2, which is a game I played a lot as a teenager. It was one of our favorite games. I don't know why it reminds me of that exactly. I think just because it's a cooperative PvE style game. And yeah, I've been getting distracted by that, not gonna lie. Like today I was working on the experimental Cataclysm series. Where are these acidic zombie corpses? Because I'm afraid to pulp them. And I know there were acidics here, but it never gave me a prompt about failing, like splashing. So I wonder if I already dealt with them. But I don't think I did, so they may have resurrected somewhere, although it hasn't been that long. Okay, so again, we can't really sort, because if we sort, we get stuck on these sludge trails, which prevents us from sorting. There's no way for us to clear them. I don't think you can mop them up. And we are using the sorting zones to pull out books, weapons, ammo, and guns, I believe. So you'll see we did pull some stuff out as it was able to process. And that's a lot of pretty good guns. Berettas are nice guns. I mean, in real life, I don't know. They're a 9mm. It's always nice to have a 9mm handgun. Blowback operated semi-automatic pistol. What do we got on a weapon? Oh, this is the tools. Tools pile. Okay, not really anything I'm super interested in here. And then we should have an ammunition. Is that the same tile, maybe? Where's the ammo pile? Didn't I make an ammo pile? Oh, we have no ammo from this whole group. Okay. And we have a weapons tile, which also has nothing on it. Okay. I would like to keep trying to sort. No, we just can't do it, huh? Alright, well, let's loot the library here. I don't remember if we did that in the last episode or not. And being in the area, it will give these sludge trails a chance to kind of slowly dissipate. Not dissipate. Dissipate implies, I think, like a gas or something. But, like, you know what I mean. Be removed. I kind of feel like we did loot this already. But we'll make a cursory glance around just to make sure. Anyway, Warzone, or Warframe is great because Warframe... Did I say Warzone earlier? Sorry, Warframe is pretty great because each match takes like 6 minutes. It's really, really fast. So what I can do is write a script or do a little bit of editing for like half an hour, go play Warframe for like 10 minutes, and then go back to working. And it's really great because like as I've gotten older, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, you know, hit me up in the comments if this is you, but like as I've gotten older, I just don't have time to play games. Like when you're a teenager, and I see this all the time on Discord too, it's like people will talk about video games and they'll be like, oh yeah, this game just came out. I've been playing it a lot. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, I'm glad you enjoyed the game, whatever. And they're like, yeah, I got 200 hours in it. And I'm like, when did it come out? And they're like, oh, like, I don't know, like 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. And it's like, you have 200 hours in that short amount of time? Like, how much free time? And what always happens is it's like some 17-year-old who doesn't, you know, they don't work because they're 17. So they just have like school. And then they come home from school and they have nothing to do. So they play video games for like 9 hours until they go to bed. And I remember being that kid. Like I definitely, when I was in high school, my existence was you wake up, you go to high school, you come home. Usually I would go to my friend's house. I wouldn't even go to my house like 90% of the time. I basically lived with him. And I would go to his house. We would sit there from like 3 o'clock in the afternoon until like midnight. And all we would do is like play Gears of War 2 or whatever. And we'd play competitively. We were in a league at one point for Gears of War 2. Maybe it was the first Gears of War. I don't remember now. But we played a lot with the same group of people. And then we would go to sleep and we'd wake up, go to school. We'd come home. We'd do it again. And now that I'm older, I just don't have time for that nonsense. Like I play video games in 10-minute bursts. That's like my thing. Like, yes, for YouTube, obviously, you know, people always say like, well, you do YouTube, so you're playing games a lot, which is true. I can't really argue with that. Like today, I'm probably going to play about an hour of Cataclysm. I do have stuff to take care of yet today as well. It's already, Jesus, it's almost 6 o'clock already. I do have errands to run that I have to do before like 7:30. So I gotta kind of make that happen here, I guess, after this video. But yeah, just don't have time this week. And so like today, I'm probably going to play over the next, you know, like 10 hours. I'm probably going to play like 40 minutes tops of Warframe, like just not a lot of time at all. And yeah, every time I bump into these kids who are like, yeah, I played for 10 hours today. It's like, oh my God, you need a hobby. But also, it's totally fine. You're a kid, you know, like you don't have a job. You know what I mean? Like, it's different when you're an adult because you have work. Man, I'm never going to be able to hit this thing with my torso encumbrance. Let's drop our backpack. And we immediately murdered the rat. Now, they do give regular meat, but they're like one chunk tops. I don't even think they give a chunk of meat. We also really need to repair our backpack. Why don't we leave that up here while we explore the basement? That way we can melee things as necessary. Yes, that's just different when you have a job. Like a job is the main thing I would say that takes up an adult's time, probably. Like again, you're watching this, leave me a comment. Let me know where does the majority of your time get spent. Or like, God forbid, you know, if you have kids, you know, God forbid you have any time for yourself, right? Like you're dealing with kids all day, especially with world events being what they are. A lot of kids weren't in school for the last year, and now it's the summertime, so you have all these kids running around. And yeah, it just eats up your time. Like adulthood is pretty much comprised entirely of you wishing you had more time, but then you don't have time. That's pretty much the entirety of what adulthood is. It's working and not having time for yourself. And for me, thankfully, I have a job that allows me to have a lot of free time. It's one of the reasons I kept this job. I could have moved on to something that pays me better, but I decided I wanted to try and turn YouTube into a hobby and possibly some income. So I was like, okay, well, I'll keep this job for a few more years and work on YouTube in all my free time, because it, you know, I currently work part-time. I work 7 days a week, but most days it's between 3 and like 6 hours. So it still adds up to be part-time at the end of the week. It's like 32 hours a week or something like that in general. So I have all this free time and I spend it on YouTube. I don't, like, I know it's not exactly my job, but I do view it as work. So I've always kind of had that mindset of like, well, I can't do this because I need to work. Like this week, I want to get that experimental Cataclysm video up, which is going to require several hours worth of work over the next couple of days of recording tons of footage and stuff like that. And like, so my week this week, like, and people always scoff at it too. Like, I talked to a guy in my therapy who's like very dismissive of what I do. He works like 80 hours a week, but for him, like 60 to 80 hours a week. But for him, it's like he does hard work. Like, he goes and helps people bale hay, and like he goes and does odd plumbing jobs or builds, you know, like carpentry work and stuff like that. So for him, that's what work is like actual labor. What I'm gonna do is haul these corpses around the sludge trail so we can access them without getting into the sludge trail. Should have thought of that much sooner. And we'll just haul them to a place where they won't take us across the sludge trail, which is such a smart thing I should have done immediately. I see you up here, unpulped corpse. Zombie crawler. Well, you're dead now. Do you have loot on you? You do, but nothing of value. Okay. So let's try sorting again now that we've pulled them over here. No, why are you going over there? There's nothing over here. Why are you going in this direction? Did I include that in my sorting zone? Okay, how about I remove this, add a new unsorted zone, and we only sort things on this side. How about that? Because that's where the bulk of the corpses are anyway. Now sort. Oh my god, the sludge trails. I hate the sludge trails. I hate them. They were so valuable. Why are you even crossing? How do you make these things go away? Like, I have no idea. I could make a mop. I'm gonna go get a mop. I don't think it works, but we're gonna go make a mop and see if we can mop up these sludge trails, because this is just infuriating. People always tell me, use the sorting zones, it makes it so much easier. It's like, yeah, I guess it does, but not when you're surrounded by sludge trails, apparently. Anyway, this guy works a ton of hours, and he works really hard, like physical labor. And whenever I talk about working a lot, he's like, he the other day he was like, well, I wish I had more free time, like, and he pointed to me, basically, like me. And I was like, bro, you always say that, like, I have so much free time, but I don't. I work, like, my job is like 32 to 36 hours a week, and then on top of that, I do YouTube, like, sometimes like 8 hours a day. I'm editing videos and stuff, and not most of the time, but since I've been doing the tutorial series, I've been really going at it with the editing, and man, it just takes forever. And he's so dismissive of, like, yeah, but you don't do real work, like, you're having fun. It's like, nah, man, you ever edit a video? It's not fun. It's tedious. It's all hell. It's awful. I hate editing. It kills me. Like, I hate it. It's so boring. It's so tedious because you can't do anything else. I can't listen to music because I have to hear what I'm saying. I can't watch a video because I have to be looking at the footage. I can't do anything. I have to literally sit here and stare at the timeline in Premiere Pro, you know, like. Anyway, that's enough complaining. Look, I'm very grateful that I get to do YouTube. YouTube is a really great hobby. I enjoy it a lot. Don't take my complaining as being ungrateful. And I appreciate that y'all come out and watch these videos. Like, that's and honestly, it makes me feel like a bad YouTuber because my favorite stuff to do is this, what we're doing right now, playing a game and recording, because it's so much easier than doing like hardcore editing and stuff like that. So anyway, that's enough. People always get frustrated when I talk about YouTube. So let's not talk about YouTube. Bookstore. So what else can we talk about? Yeah, Warframe. Enjoy Warframe. If you haven't checked it out, it seems like a huge time sink, but I mostly have been enjoying it. I like cooperative stuff. That too, as I've gotten older, I just don't like PvP anymore. You mop up the spill. Yeah, but it's still there. You mop up the spill. Is it? It's not mopping. Oh, it did. Oh, great. It just took 4 tries. I guess because it's like really sticky or something. Because it is super sticky. Can I walk on you now? Okay, great. So we just needed a mop, internet. So now we know. Now we know in the future if we need to get rid of sludge trails, we can mop them up. Just activate. Actually, I can use capital A because it automatically activates whatever is in your hand. We're just gonna activate this until we get rid of all this nonsense. Man, there's so much sludge. Those guys really like to ooze, don't they? I did see one of the changes recently is that they added multiple variants of the pupating zombie, which I believe is what we saw in the last episode. Remember, we talked about how there were two, and I think some of them don't actually explode. I think some of them are like decoys that make you think they're going to explode and become flesh raptors, and then the other ones are actual flesh raptors. And then I saw another one that's like super scary, where it can just produce flesh raptors even when it's not dead. So when it's alive, it just spits them out occasionally. And I think that that is probably a pretty broken thing. I suspect that they very quickly become overwhelming, and it's probably not a very good change. But I respect the hustle. Like, I think it's interesting that they added them. Okay, so we should be able to sort this stuff without incident now. Oh, sorted out every item. Great. It only took us like 45 minutes to figure out we could do that. So let's have a look at what we've earned here. This is just garbage where we dumped corpses. I don't care about that. All right, books, nothing impressive, just some flyers and magazines. Break a leg is, are you just for fun now? Didn't it used to raise dodging to 1 or something stupid like that? Or maybe it was like a speaking book. I'm gonna read this really quick. I don't think you do anything, but I'm gonna look anyway. Brings your dodge to 1. Okay, that's fine. Why do you have the numbers after your name though? Show me, where's the book? Where's the book? Oh, where's the book? Oh, there it is. Okay, so it in parentheses. Why is this gray? It should be. Oh, because it has no recipes. Right. Okay. But why do you have the 18 in parentheses? I don't understand that. Because that makes me wonder, did I skip some like important books that just have numbers after their name? Because when I'm looking and I'm quickly going through these books, one of the things I look for is this here 24, because that to me has always been the indicator that this is a just for fun book. So now it makes me wonder if I've been skipping books that might have value. Because it doesn't say, oh, it does say just for fun. I guess I should be looking at that when I loot. Whatever, I'm not concerned. We already found all the books we really wanted, the forge books. But anyway, let's continue looking at our valuables. AR-15, I believe we already have a couple. In our vehicle, I believe we already have literally that exact gun. I am curious what your mod is. The +1 there indicates that it has a mod installed. Okay, a shoulder strap. What about you? Also a shoulder strap. I really wish, so one of the things that we've talked about before that has never really made it into the game, I wish people would make highly modified guns and put them on the drop tables as random drops. So like 99% of the time when you find a gun that has an attachment, it's a shoulder strap. It is possible if you're in like the armory, like the Beretta or the Barrett comes with some hefty mods attached to it. But for the most part, what you find is shoulder straps. I don't see any reason not to add modified guns. Gun people love to modify their guns. So I don't really understand why we don't have any of that. Like a Beretta, right? Pretty standard sidearm. That's very common. I think it used to be like the military's go-to pistol or whatever. So like, they're very common. The same with Glocks. Very common. Glock is like the #1 handgun in the world or something like that. Or in the United States or whatever. People love to modify that crap. So why not just make a few Glocks that have, you know, maybe special grips on it or different sights on it or something like that. I don't know why we don't have that. I don't know why we don't have those. So we mostly got handguns. What we will do is unload the extra magazine from the AR. That's 27 rounds of value. And we, of course, will take the shotgun shells as well, but we don't need the shotgun. You unload your 6-round shotgun. Why is it a 6-round shotgun? Why doesn't it have a name attached to it? Is a shotgun with capacity for 6 rounds of 12 gauge shot. Yeah, but the AR-15 is actually named the weapon it's supposed to be. Yeah, so I don't know what to make of that, but whatever, we'll take the ammo. We already have shotguns that I'm sure are probably whatever this is supposed to be. I don't know why it's spawning a generic shotgun when I have the gun names enabled, but okay. And then we will check, there's another pile, the tools pile. We already have a claw bar. We really don't need a proper crowbar. I bet probably also we already have one in our vehicle. And yeah, just not super interested in any of that. Alright, so it took us forever, but we did manage to kill all these massive number of zombies, and we were able to get some loot from them. Remember, we did have an ammo pile set up, so I don't think we missed anything of value. Obviously, some of them could have clothing on them that are good. I believe I did see at least one military rucksack, but I'm not really concerned about that as a problem. So we're just going to head back to base, drop off our stuff here, and we should probably sleep. I keep wanting to do things off camera because it saves time, but you know, if I sleep off camera and then get jumped by an enemy in the middle of the night, then I don't have that footage. So we'll probably sleep in the next episode, which will be a super exciting way to start a new episode. In fact, let's just do it now because it might take a really long time, and I will edit all of that out. Let's drop our stuff here. Just drop everything. I really don't need the majority of this stuff. We did pick up a military rucksack. And we dropped the handguns here. My throat is bothering me today as well, as it always is. I really probably should stop smoking, huh, internet? Alright, let's close everything up, turn off those lights that I forgot to turn off, and we will go to sleep, and hopefully this does not take an eternity. So we're at 5:36 here. I'm going to time how long it takes. Alright, we're back. It's 39 minutes in my recording, which means it took me 6 full minutes of real time to sleep. We slept from about 5:36 to 15:36. So 10 hours took about 6 minutes of my real life. Anyway, internet, we're going to wrap this video. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed everything up until this point. I'll be back with more Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead in the near future, and I will see you in the next video.